What's up, everybody? Marshall here. Back for another Tuesday night hobby talk. Wait to see who we get on here tonight. There you go. That helped the lighting a little bit. It was a little bit too dark where I had it at, so I had to take the camera and angle it a little bit so it could catch the overhead light a little bit more. If I put the light over here on the side, it's too much. So that's just whoa. So I just think that's just a little bit too much lighting. Oh, wow. We had 2 people join in and leave already. Oh, I'm so sad to see y'all go. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. It says, Tuesday night hobby talk. The idea is to come on here and talk about the hobbies on Tuesday night. Duh. And I get 2 people join time I come on. And because I'm playing with the lighting, trying to situate it the way I want it, they're like, poof, both of them gone. But it is what it is. Well, guys, I'm going to wait a few minutes. Well, nobody's in here right now. I'm going to wait a few minutes before I really, go into what I want to talk about, or wait to see what everybody else is going to talk about. Because I don't want to start talking about it if nobody's in here. But hadn't done too much outside except for, of course, that one run video I just put up. I just got through uploading. Excuse me. I just got through uploading a trail video. My HG P401 with a Hummer H2 body on it. I took that out in the woods. Did me a trail run with it. That was posted up a day ago. It's been up one day. Getting ready for some fishing. Trying to get everything ready. Like, go ahead and get new line put on a reel. Get a reel put on the rod I wanted it on. Go ahead and tie on what I got an idea of what I'm going to start with as far as fishing bait. And then, when I actually go, I can swap out to something else. If those ain't getting no hits. Got some more upgrades coming to my kayak. One of them I've already purchased, and it's here. 1, 2, 3 more things are coming. One of them will be here tomorrow, the next day. The other one should be here by Friday. And then I think the other one's coming like the 9th to the 12th is what it's saying right now. It might get here a little bit early, but somewhere between the 9th and the 12th is what it's saying. So I've got some upgrades coming. All coming between tomorrow all the way up to the 9th or the 12th of the month. Like I said, well, not necessarily upgrades to some people, more of a little mod that I'm doing to it to make it more for me. Because I want to be comfortable when I'm out there fishing. And that's what it's all about. Just like when I went out and did my trail run yesterday. I changed up cameras. And I took my Nikon Coolpix 35x zoom with 4K capabilities. I took it with me because when I put it on a tripod, I can have it facing the vehicle and I can be behind it and I can tilt that so I can just stand there and look down at it. It's going on, Robin? Hope you're doing well tonight. I was saying that I had just did a run video with one of my trail trucks. I've got a HG P401 put out by a company called Hingwan. That's hence the reason for the HG. Changed out the body on it, put a Hummer H2 body on it, upgraded the servo, the shocks, tires and wheels on it. But that's all I've done to it, and that's over 3.5 years or more of having it. And I paid on sale, I paid like $89 for it when I bought it brand new. And the only thing to break on it was the battery, the stock battery that came with it gave out. So I bought a 2-cell Venom, a little 2000 milliamp hour, 20C burst, 2S LiPo, and that's what I ran on it yesterday in the trail video that I put up on my channel. It's been up for 1 day now. And I was talking about upgrades I've got coming in the mail, or not just either upgrades, updates, whatever you want to call it, to my kayak. Some more things I'm doing to it to make it more for me and make it better for fishing. I've got a kayak-like cart. It's 2 wheels, aluminum frame. Set the back of the kayak on it, put a strap across the top of it. And that way I can just grab it by the handle and I can just walk it down to the water. Because I don't live far from the lake. And I can walk it down to this little spot and go down in there and try it out and see how that's going to work with this set of wheels. See how heavy it's going to be pulling it by that handle with 2 wheels at the back of it. I don't think it'll be too bad since it's only a 10-foot kayak. But I can walk it down there, try it out, see how that works. Plus, when I'm hauling it, either up on top of my car or in my pickup truck, I've got those wheels, so if I can't park right there at the water, I can slap them up under it, take it from the parking space, and roll it down there to where you launch it at, take the wheels off, and launch my kayak that way. So I've got one of those coming. And it was only I think it was $32 for the wheels, cart little thing. And after tax, it was like $35. So I've got that coming. It was easier for me to order one. I was going to make one, take lawnmower wheels or something, put a piece of metal on it and mount it with 2 brackets onto some wood and make me a little homemade cart. Wishing I was 73. What's up, brother? Wishing I was 73. Wishing I was fishing 73 in the house again. You did pretty good out there in the rain that day with them bass. There was some good bass, man. The only downside is being so high up on that pier when you're down there. You gotta either muscle them up there and hope your line don't break or your rod, or you better be calling somebody with a net. That's the only bad thing about being so high up. I used to hate that when I went fishing. Caught a 3-pound bass today. Cool. I used to hate that when I went to Russell Dam, right there on the Georgia-South Carolina border. That was the only thing I hated about going to Russell Dam. It's because they had a big, tall wall that stood up about 5 or 10 feet high up out of the water. And you had to walk to the edge of the rail, throw out, follow your line down, let it go down. And when you got ready to start reeling it, right as it got down through the current, start reeling it back to you, you were all the way down here at the other end of the wall, but you were still a good 6 to 10 feet up from the water. Well, what most people did is they brought them close, and then they slowly walked down the steps and got down onto the sidewalk, which was at the same level as the fish, and they just bring them up onto the sidewalk. Because bringing them up on that wall, it was on, like I said, it was 8 to 10 feet more than likely off the water. And I was showing people when I started the camera I was using yesterday when I did that video. That's my Nikon Coolpix with 35x zoom. That's the one I used when I was trailing in the woods with that yellow Hummer. And it's got this that flips out the screen so I can see it and just look down at it and see what the truck's doing. I used that when I went out there and did that run video that you already saw. And I was saying that I had some more upgrades or mods, things coming from a kayak that I'm going to be adding. I got a couple, it's a couple, but it's one thing. It's two of it, but it's one item. I've already got here, and then I've got a couple more things coming. I got two of these. There's the screws right there on the side. I got two of these from Walmart. They're identical, of course, but I got two of them from Walmart. I'm going to be mounting them. I'm going to be drilling a hole and cutting out the hole area. I'm going to be mounting these on each side of my seat, right there about where my arm can just reach beside me, right beside me and barely behind me and grab. Yeah, you can suggest something for my kayak. I definitely take suggestions into consideration. So go ahead and shoot me with it or hit me with it. Yeah, well, speak of the devil, you hit the nail on the head. You remember I showed you I had in that video I put on that stadium seat. That stadium chair is in my kayak. And if you watch my last mod video, that stadium seat lifts you up about that high from the bottom, because the way I had to put it on the boat, it lifts you up about that high from the bottom of the kayak, which throws off the balance and makes it do this more when you're sitting in it. So my plan was to take that stadium seat out and then just put me like a thick cushion. Well, I went online and found one that is 3.5 or 3.75, something like that, inches thick. I think it's supposed to be a dual stage foam. Oh, well, it was 2 hours. The first time I took that kayak out, I was just sitting on the plastic of the kayak down in that and with the plastic backing. But since I have my life vest on, the plastic backing of the back doesn't bother me. I can lean back on that backing. It doesn't bother me. But nothing under the butt. It got me after about 2 hours. After about 2 hours, man, that thing was aching. I was like, oh my God, I got to get something. Well, I went with the stadium seat, and the one we wanted was rounded. You know, it rounded at the back corners like this. But what I ended up getting squared at the back, like, you know, straight into a square like that. And it wouldn't fit in the slot where I wanted it. So it set up on top like this, and it raised me up about 4 inches from the bottom of the kayak. And that 4 inches of height, every time I did this to turn for a rod and reel, out of the rod holders that are on that crate, the boat really got a little bit tipsy with me. And I was like, man, if it's that tipsy, me sitting up this high, I get a good hit from a fish, it's really going to want to go over. So I was like, see if I can find a seat cushion that's got some cushion and just replace that out. So I ordered me a cushion that is, like I said, either 3.5 or 3.75 inches thick. It has a waterproof top layer and a waterproof bottom layer. Now, there's the weird thing. Why they didn't make the in-between layer all the way around it waterproof, I don't know. But it's waterproof on top, waterproof on bottom, but the part that goes all the way around it in the middle is not waterproof. So, but it comes with a hook on the back of it, like a little loop, and I think a little latch on it. What I'm going to do is when I set it down in the boat, I'm going to hook me a carabiner to it. So that way if the boat flips over, it's just there hanging from the boat. I've already put the old backing, the original kayak back on the boat. I've already done that. I took that stadium seat off because it just, like I said, it was too rocky being up those 4 inches higher than what you're supposed to be. Made it a little too rocky. And unless I add stabilizers, that seat needs to stay off. Plus, it's lighter this way. It's closer to what it was when I bought it. I think the seat cost me like $28. But it is, like I said, 3.5, 3.75 inches thick. It's a camouflage color. And it's a waterproof top part of where you set your butt down, and waterproof under the very bottom. So that way, if a little bit of water come up in the kayak or got in it and got on the seat, it wouldn't get to it. It's just the in-between that goes around where the foam is. That section's not waterproof. So I'll probably have to take it and unbuckle it every time I come back home, undo it from the carabiner, bring the seat in, just let it sit in here and sit. And then next time I get ready to go fishing, take it, drop it down in the kayak, and hook the carabiner on it. But yeah, I bought me a cushion. So I'm going away from that stadium seat because, like I said, it lifted me up about 4 inches. I got in the boat today, sat down on the stadium seat, and I barely did this. And you can see the whole front of the kayak doing this. You use the throwable cushion? Yeah. Yeah, you can get one of those throwable ones. I think you can get those for like 10 or 12 bucks at Walmart. I saw one day when I was in there. But I bought this one because it's supposed to be like a two dual stage foam thing. So I'm figuring, it might be something decent. Plus it's over 3.5 inches thick. I think it's 3.75. So you figure 3 to 4 inches thick, right at 4 inches. It ought to give me something, some kind of comfort for a while. And with that place on the back coming off of it where I can hook something onto it to hold it in place, that means it just won't, if the boat tips over, it won't just fly out of the boat. I can just bring it in when I come home and I put the boat back up on the back porch. But these, like I said, I'm going to mount these right there where the back of the seat is. I'm going to mount them so that way they're like right beside. That way I can come right over here and just go reach beside me kind of at an angle and just go, just pull it up out of there. Yeah. That way I haven't got to turn almost all the way around to get to the rod holders that are on that crate. And this also helps me out if I decide to carry the kayak on top of my car and I take the crate off, I would still have the rod holders. I would have the one on each side of the seat and flush mounted, and I would have that one that I mounted on the kayak on the left-hand side. Yeah, I saw the CO2 ones. That way it's not in your way while you're fishing, and you just pull the rip cord on it if you need it, and then it... But one good thing about the regular life jacket is by me having it on, that hard plastic back that comes on that kayak, it ain't that hard. That wasn't the problem. I told Darcy when I bought that kayak, I said, the backing of this thing ain't no problem. I leaned back on it and I fished. I was out there 3 hours. Back never bothered me, never. But the butt part, after about that 2 hour mark, I hit about 2 hours. And right after that, I was like, oh my God, I started shifting every few minutes going, whew. I was ready to be out of that thing, after 2 hours. So I figure if I put this cushion in there, and it can give me 2 or 3 hours without complaining. And when I got my life jacket on, the back's not going to bother me. Plus, that cuts down the weight of the kayak, because that stadium seat I had on the kayak was 5 or 7 pounds right there just by itself. And I'm trying to get it down to that way if I have to load it up on top of my wagon, my Subaru Outback, there's not nothing really I've got to take off. That's why I want to put those flush mount rod holders. So that way if I remove the crate, I can just take my kayak, toss it up there, strap it down, go to the water, pull it off of there, go fishing, put it back up there and go. And don't have to worry about, well, I got to take the crate off. I got to take the seat off. Oh, let me get down here to the water. Or let me remount the crate. Let me remount the seat. I don't want to have to do all that if I ain't got to. I want to make it easier and make it lighter. I ordered me a kayak dolly. Instead of trying to make one, making one, the parts and going with gas, going to pick up the parts and everything was probably going to be $25, $35 or whatever anyway. I was going to use either some lawnmower wheels or some small bicycle wheels. Like a little kid's bicycle with the wheels about like this, or some lawnmower wheels. And I was going to mount that to some wood and then put some hooks on it, put a strap, and put my kayak on that and haul it. My kayak is supposed to be 50 when I bought it. It's supposed to weigh 50. But then I added that 10-pound anchor that I had put on it. That made it 60. Then I turned around and added a stadium seat, which weighs somewhere between, I forgot what it said on the site. It was either 5 or 7 pounds. That made it 65 or 67. And then you add the plastic crate in the back. That's probably a couple pounds. And you're trying to load all that up. And you don't normally going to take your seat off, take your crate off, take your anchor system off. You're not normally going to take all that off, load the boat up, and then put all that back on. Then when you get down there to the lake, take all that stuff off, put the boat out, put all that stuff back on it. That's just aggravation to me. So I wanted to get it closer back down to the 50. That way, whether I'm loading it in the boat, whether I'm trying to put it on top of my Subaru Outback, or whether I'm using this kayak dolly that I got coming, it doesn't weigh as much. See, because I'm going to try to haul it. I'm going to put this kayak dolly under it, put the strap on it, and I'm going to try to just put my fishing gear in it, grab it by the handle at the front of it, and I'm going to try to just walk it down to that fishing spot that I showed on that video that I was fishing at. I'm going to try to walk it down to there, get it right there at the water, take the wheels out from under the back, ease it into the water, turn it so I can get into it. Either lay the wheels over in the woods where nobody will see them, or either just lay them up in the back of the kayak. Then I'm going to climb in it, go out there and fish it in the water. I'm going to come back, put the wheels back under it, and roll it back on. What's up, Bull Gear RC Videos? Hope you're doing all right, my friend. To get you caught up, I was showing a couple things I just got in to put on my kayak. I got me a couple of flush rod holders to put on it. I was showing the camera, working on your rat rod. I hear you. That's the camera I shot the video I did yesterday with. That's my Nikon Coolpix 35X zoom. I used this yesterday and went out in the woods and did a video on my HG, the Hingwan HG P401. I've got a Hummer H2 body on it, a yellow body. I took that over in the woods and did a trail video with it yesterday. That's up on my channel. And I'm waiting on some more stuff to add on to my kayak. Like I said, I've got these rod holders here. I'm going to cut the holes and mount them flush mount on each side of the seat area so I can have that. Then I've got a kayak dolly cart thing with 2 wheels on it coming to set the back of the kayak on and strap it down so I can roll it around and make it easier to haul. I did away with my stadium seat that I had on my kayak. I just put it over to the side, and I got a big thick cushion, like a 3.5 or 3.75 inch cushion coming that I'm going to put in the kayak to sit on. That way it keeps the weight down, keeps me down low in the boat, so it keeps the stability better on it. And I've got a cushion coming. I've got a kayak cart dolly thing coming. And I've got a self-adhesive tape measure for fishing coming. It's made for hooking to your boat. It's a 40-inch. It's a 40-inch long black tape measure with white writing on it. And you just peel the backing off of it, and then you just put it on your boat and it sticks. That way I can, when I bring a fish in, I can just turn and put the fish right there and see what size, how long he is. That way I don't have to worry about fooling with a tape measure. I haven't got to pull out the tape measure, hold the fish, put the tape measure up here at him and pull down and try to keep him still while I'm measuring him that way. I can just leave the tape measure alone. It's like the ones you use on the rod. This one's like an inch. I think it's an inch or a little more wide. And it's 40 inches long. And I'm going to put it on the right side of my kayak. Right there where that boat cleat I mounted on the kayak in the last video, that mod that I did, I'm going to put it right there near that boat cleat. Because on the inside of that boat cleat, there's about an inch or an inch and a half of space. And I'm going to come from where the handle is and go all the way up to where that bungee is up near the front, which is about 30 or 32 inches. And I'm going to mount at least 30 or 32 inches of that little tape measure that's coming. It's a 40 inches. Yeah, 40 inches is for the one that got away, huh? Yeah. But I probably ain't going to mount the whole 40 inches. Like I said, I'm probably going to mount up to about 30 or 32. I don't see myself catching too many that's going to be that size anyway. And, I've still got my tape measure. It's actually hooked. It's on a carabiner, and it's hooked to the kayak, so it's not going anywhere. If I get something that big, I could undo that, lay it up between my legs, and measure something longer than 30-something inches. But I'm probably going to cut it down to about, I think it's 30 or 32 where I'm going to have to cut it off at. Unless I can figure out a different way to position it and get it by that handle and use the whole thing. But it's only with tax. It wasn't, shipping was free. With tax, it ended up being $9.95. And $10 for something that I can stick on my boat right here to the side. And when I bring the fish in, I can just grab him like this, turn and lay him at the beginning of it, hold him out and go, oh, this one's so-and-so inches. Well, we're going to let him go. Or if I decide I want to bring it home and cook it and eat it, I can be like, aha, he's legal. I can keep this one if I want to. But, yeah, I'm working on a few different things. Like I said, I did an RC video yesterday. Did that. And I'm working on my fishing gear and stuff getting ready. That's why I use them on my rods. Yeah, I remember you telling me that. I remember you said you had the sticky ones that you put on your rods. So that way you have your rod right there. You can just put the fish up here like this by the mouth. And then maybe reach down here and grab the tail and hold it up there. And go, okay. And I'm like, well, I want something like that for the kayak. To have on there too. That way I can measure at least, well, it goes up to 40, but if if I have to cut it off right there at that cleat that I put on the boat, if I have to cut it off along there, it'll be around 30, 32 inches. But come on, 32 inches? I mean, like 4 inches being 3 foot. I'm not going to be catching that many 3-footers, probably in my luck, because I've never caught a 3-foot long bass. I used the golden rule for my kayak. I almost bought me the other day. I was in Walmart, and I also almost bought me one. It was like, I think it was 28 or 30, and it was aluminum. And on this end, it had to stop. Where you would either hold it or put, and it had a hole where you could actually put a screw on it. So I could have bought it and drilled a hole and mounted that like that. And then on the other end, drilled a hole, put a screw, and I could have just mounted it like that. And it would have been aluminum. But the aluminum does add weight. This little self-adhesive one, just put it there and there's nothing. And as long as I keep it up on my back porch, out of the majority of the weather, the sun won't be beating down on it a bunch to fade it out. And it won't be getting rained on unless the wind blows the rain up on my porch. Because my back porch where it's sitting at does have a roof. So the only weather getting to it is what sun comes in through the sides of the porch or right there at the edge of the porch. And the only rain is what the wind blows up in there. So the little adhesive one should do me for a while. Like I said, I've already cleaned that area once and gave it a once over. And I removed that little sticker that came on the kayak telling me it was a lifetime kayak, weighed 50 pounds, could hold this much weight, blah, 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 blah. I left that on there until I knew the warranty was, Walmart warranty was. And now that I'm putting that ruler on there, I'm like, I need to peel that out of the way. Get that decal sticker thing out of the way, so that way that ruler can go right across there. But I got that coming. That fish ruler is supposed to be here between the 9th and the 12th of this month. I had Darcy order it because she has Amazon Prime, and she was able to get the shipping free. Anything under $10, I would have had to pay shipping for. Because if it's under $25, you got to pay shipping. Well, she has the Prime, so it was like she's like, I can get it shipped, and all you got to pay is the tax. And it was like $9.95, and I'm like, for $10, I can't beat that. I can just stick it to my kayak and be ready to go. And then with these rod holders, I'm going to put on each side of the seat. That's going to make it easier to reach the 2 spares back here. Mine says it will hold 350. I weigh 290. I try to keep my tackle as low as I can. Mine says yours will hold 350, not mine. Mine says 275. Mine is a 275. That's what it says. And I don't want to get right there to that limit. You could have got the same sticker at Academy for $2.99. It ain't no biggie. Like I said, I was looking on eBay. They were wanting around $8.50, $9 for them. I was looking, at Walmart. The only thing they had was a plastic one, an aluminum one, and a wooden one. And they were wanting $12, $15, and $20 for the one they had at Walmart at the time. eBay was wanting more. I think it was wanting 12. And the Amazon one had it for they had it for $8.50 out of China, or they had it with tax and everything for $9.95 from an American site, and I could get it sooner. And I told Darcy, just get it from there. But see, Academy is nowhere near me. I've got to drive over an hour just to get to an Academy. Same thing with Dick's Sporting Goods. I've got to go over an hour to get there. There's not even a Bass Pro Shop. Cabela's. They're like an hour and a half, 2 hours away, either one of those. So if I wanted it from Academy for that $3, I would have had to drive all the way to Academy to go pick it up. So I would have had to drive an hour there and an hour back. So that $3 then would have been at least $7. Because Academy only ships for free if it's 25 and up. That's what it said when I looked on their site. They only ship for 25 and up. Same way with Dick's Sporting Goods. We ship for free anything over $25. Is the way they say it. But yeah, $3 would have been cool. Now, if I'd have been going to somewhere an hour away, like near Academy, I'd be like, well, while I'm over there at that town, I'll stop by Academy and pick me one up. Yeah, $3 would have been awesome if I'd have been, going that way. But for the gas to go all the way there, an hour away, because it's like 50, I want to say 52 or 55 miles for the nearest Academy. So I would have had to drive that distance, pay $3 for it. Well, $3.50 after tax, whatever, and then drive all the way back. Just my gas. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And Academy wants $25 for shipping, unless they want $3 or $4 for shipping. It would have been like $4 or $5 probably to ship it to me at the most. But $3 and $4 or $5 still puts it up there at the $8 or $9, puts it right there where I'm at. But now if I was ordering $25 worth of tackle from them already, yeah, I could have just added that on and had it shipped for free. But yeah, sometimes you get screwed over by shipping and handling. Now it'd be different if Academy would ship anything for free, no matter the amount. Then yeah, I could have just went online on Academy, ordered that for $2.99, paid sales tax on it, and for less than $4, I would have had one. But at least I've got one coming. So now it's going to make it more convenient, like you said. That's going to be stuck on my boat. And to make it more convenient when I'm fishing out of the boat. Now, later time, I will get me another one, maybe to put on one of my main rod and reels. Because the one on the boat, stuck on the boat, doesn't do me any good. If I'm fishing off a pier and I want to measure one, then I've either got to have a tape measure with me or just go, oh, well, I ain't worried about the size. I ain't keeping none today anyway. But now, this is an upgrade for the channel. Yee! I'm not opening it yet because I'm probably going to do a little bit of an unboxing video and everything, because it's more than just one thing in here. It's like something and some accessories and stuff. And I want to open it up and do an actual unboxing video of it. But since you're on here, brother, and I think Bull Gear might still be on here. It says 2 people are on here. This is a GoPro Hero 5 refurbished with a bunch of accessories is what it's supposed to be. One's a chest mount, one's a head mount, and then there's some other mounts in here. And the reason I went refurbished is because it was way cheaper. I couldn't afford what they wanted for the brand new GoPro Hero 5. I couldn't afford that. So I bought a refurbished one, got all these accessories, and then turned around and went and bought a Square Trade 1-year warranty that starts when the warranty on this. This has 90 days on it. When that warranty expires, my Square Trade warranty kicks in, and that's a whole nother year. So basically, I've got a year and 90 days, and I spent $15 on that extra warranty. And I spent less than $150 for this. So I got me one, and I spent less than $150 for it, and got some accessories with it. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of an unboxing video probably in the next day or two on my channel. Might be more than a couple of days. It depends on how I feel. I've got stuff I've got to tend to. I've got a futon in the living room I've still got to put together. I bought me an aluminum futon for the living room, or metal, whatever it is. Anyway, I got to put all the bars and everything together and then put the cushions on it. And I haven't even started on it. It's just sitting in the box in the middle of the living room. I got enough room to walk through there. I'm like, I'll get to it one day. I've already ordered it. It's here at the house. I bought a warranty for it too. I bought like a 2-year warranty on it. That way, if any of the bars or anything break, I can just take a picture of it or take a video of it and either make them repair it or send me another one. So I've got a 2-year warranty on it. I was smart enough to at least buy a warranty. You know, kind of like I did with the camera. Hell yeah. Very cool. Thanks, brother. Yeah, to be honest, what I really wanted to try for was 2 different cameras. One of 2. I either wanted the GoPro Hero 6, which is just one step up, or I wanted the DJI Osmos Action Cam, because it has a screen at the back, and then at the front over here, here's where you see stuff at. Over here, it had another screen. So that way, if you were doing anything down at the lake and you were holding it out in front of you, you could see if you were in frame. So it had a screen on front so you could see if you were in frame. And then it had a screen on back. When you had it turned around, you'd make sure you had everything in frame. And it was waterproof without a case, just like a GoPro. And I found one on sale, and I think it was on sale for either $259.99 or $269.99. And I'm like, $260 for a brand new camera that's got all this video stabilization, all this other, can shoot 4K, can do all this slow-mo, and it's got 2 dual screens on it. I really wanted the DJI Osmos Action Cam. And then I got to looking at the GoPro Hero 6 Action Cam, and I was comparing them. Well, the DJI had the better looking stuff, but the GoPro Hero 6 outdid the sound by just a bit. Just enough to make you go, huh, you could probably hear that 2 or 3 feet away further from you than you could the Osmos Action Cam. In other words, if you had it, say, like at the end of your kayak, showing back at you so people could see you while you're paddling and doing what you're doing from that angle, you might not be able to hear the Osmos because it's all the way down at the other end of the kayak. Whereas with the GoPro, you might have a little bit better sound. You might be able to hear you. You know, you might not. I don't know. But you'd have a better chance with the GoPro. So then I started leaning towards the GoPro Hero 6. Well, brand new, the GoPro Hero 6 was the same price as the Osmos Action Cam or more when I was seeing it. I had to step down and go refurbish GoPro Hero 6 to get it cheaper than the Osmo Action Cam. And I'm like, if I'm going to spend $240 or $260 on an Action Cam, I'm not going to get the refurbished GoPro Hero 6. I would go with the Osmo. Well, then I had bought my futon for the living room. And then I remembered my air conditioner in the living room had gone to spitting water real bad last summer and acting up. And I remembered I was going to have to buy another air conditioner out of my tax money. So I go, step off that GoPro Hero 6 and just stick with that Hero 5. Because it does have video stabilization. Plus, I can get a refurbished one at a really good deal with some accessories. I'm thinking I will have to wear my head mount to get video on my kayak. What do you think? Well, you could get something on the order of this. You could get something on the order of this. Not this mount right here. Of course, your GoPro mount would be right here. But you could get something on the order of this. Here's where, see, right there is where you take this mount off. Hold on. Right there is where you take like your GoPro mounting system off of there. And all it is, now watch. That's all I got to do. Center it a little bit more. You just go to your bathroom and you get it centered on a hat if you're going to wear a hat. And you can do something like this. And then you have your GoPro sitting up there. And you can always take the camera, loosen this up a little bit, and tilt it down a little bit. Now, what you'd want to do the first time you tried to use it is maybe get out there on the water and go, GoPro, record. Get it started recording. Record like 1 minute. Say, GoPro, stop recording. And then pull this off your head and look and see if you've got it aimed right. And then maybe adjust it a little bit. But see, it holds pretty darn good. Does it pull down? As long as you've got a hat that's got a firm brim. As long as this brim of the hat is nice and, say. Now, if it's an old hat that's like 5-10 years old and this part caves all in or wants to sag real bad from age, like right here, starts making it where it sags because it's done got old and weak, then yeah, it's going to sag down a couple of inches. And it's going to be like wanting to pull your head a little bit more forward. But see, I sit in the boat like this. This is what I had been using. When I go fishing, I had my Firefly 6S Plus. I had that in this little cradle. And then I just went out, and this has image stabilization on it, like a GoPro Hero 5 has. It has video stabilization. So I was like, okay, it'll stabilize with a little bit of shake. So when I do this, you see the majority of what I'm doing. It's not perfect because this one doesn't have a screen on it. So I can't record a minute or two and then stop and look at the screen and see if I had it. And you just got to set it and kind of hope you had it about where you needed it. And hope you at least had some footage that you could use. Unlike you have a screen on back. You can set it, make it record for a minute, 30 seconds, whatever. Stop it, look at what you've shot, and see if it's got what you want to be seen. If it does, then you know, okay, I've got it angled right. Now, depending on the bracket that you put in here, the mount you put in here to hold the camera, it's either going to be sitting down closer towards the... See, I used to have it sitting right above the brim. It was sitting like right here. This mount is a little bit longer because my other mount broke. I broke one of my mounts that goes up in here. And I had to find something else to use. And it sits, as you can see, up here now. It used to be right above, like about right here. So the mount was lower. It was a lower mount. The shorter the mount you use, the lower you can bring this camera down to your hat, you know. But this, like I said, it just snaps up in there. Just slides up in there and locks in place like a regular GoPro mount. Hold on. There it is. See, it's just like a regular GoPro mount. It just slides in there and locks in place. And this can do this. Now, you saw how I had it like this. It can also clip on if you want to catch something from the side view. See? It can also, if you had something to clip it on somewhere near you, you can spin it around, clip it onto something in front of you, and have it facing you. And yeah, it was on eBay. I would try first thing camera mount or hat mounts for cameras or something like that. But this was, I think I paid like $6 or $8 for this. And this thing right here has been invaluable. I would pay that amount 2 and 3 times if I broke this to get more. Like I got the head mount supposedly in this batch right here for the Hero 5. I may or may not use that. I may continue to just take this part off, and I may just continue to use my GoPro hooked on this for some of those shots. Or I may put the chest mount, if it'll fit over my life jacket, put the chest mount on, shoot a little bit of video, see if it's angled to where I want it. Take it out, take the camera out of the mount, look and see if it's angled like I want it, and I'm catching the footage I want. And if I want it that way, leave it. I thought about using the chest mount when I go down there and fish from the bank. What's going on, Steve? Good to have you, brother. Oh, we were just talking about upgrades and different things. I was showing a couple of rod holders, flush mount rod holders I picked up to go on my kayak. Got the screws and everything right there. I got to cut out the holes, as you can see. Got to cut out the holes so I can mount them. I'm going to mount them on each side of that seat backing. That way I've got plenty of places to set rods, and I don't have to worry about it if I want to take that crate off the back and don't want to keep it there. Oh, yeah. Since you're here, that's that reel I was telling you about. The Abel Garcia Silver Max. Abel Garcia Silver Max. And I went with a 12-pound trilene on it. That's what I went with. And it's on a 6.6. A 6.6 Abel Garcia. Rod right there, see? It's a 6.6. It's a medium action rod. 6.6 medium action. It can take line from 6 to 17 pounds. It can take lures that are a fourth of an ounce all the way up to 5/8 ounce. And like I said, I'm running 12-pound line on it. And the first lure to get thrown from it will be this one. I've already got it rigged up. Yep. I got a wish.com. That's that top water frog that I said I was going to throw the next time I went fishing. So I've already rigged it up. Yep, Mr. Frogger. Now on my Hank Parker, my Lew's Hank Parker edition. Now this is I think it's a 6 or an 8-pound line. This is for smaller fish. This is a speed stick. It's a medium action. You can only run 4 to 8-pound line on it. A 1/4 ounce to a 1/2 ounce is what you got to throw. I think I'm running 6-pound or 4-pound on here. Medium action rod. And I put another wish.com lure on it. This is that one with the torpedo back in. I'm going to be throwing that one with it. No, I already had this Lew's. The Lew's, I had that pretty much every video. Every video I've done since I've been here of me fishing has been with this Lew's as one of my rod and reels. The Abel Garcia rod was on the back porch. The 6.6 one, it was on the back porch. But the reel on it was giving me trouble. So I had put a different reel on there. I got that Abel Garcia Silver Max. Decided to put that on there, and then I put 12-pound trilene on there. I went out yesterday and did an RC video. That HGP 401 with the Hummer body. That's my camera I used for it when I did it. I used my Nikon Coolpix with the 35x zoom and put it on a tripod, and then brought this out and tilted it so I could see at what angle the truck was coming towards me or going away without being down on the ground the whole time or bending down the whole time. You know, I could just look down at it. But that's what I used in the trail run yesterday. I had been using that one that I could just hook on to the controller that had the gimbal and everything, but I decided to go back to my old faithful that really gets me some good shots. Yeah. And that's another reason for that screen being out like that, so you can see exactly where the truck's at, what it's doing. And if it's starting to get close, yeah, don't want to knock this camera over. But I was wishing I was fishing. While you here real quick, Steve. Got some more stuff coming from a kayak. Got me a kayak dolly or cart coming. Excuse me. It's 2 wheels and like an aluminum frame, and you're supposed to have a strap, and you just put it up under the back of the kayak, and then put the strap over the back of the kayak, and that way I can go up to the front where the pull rope is at. I can just grab it up by that handle at the front and then just wheel it behind me. I'm hoping to use that so I can wheel it from right here at my house right down here to that section of lake that's right here by me, because that's only like 5 minutes away. I can just toss a couple rod and reels, tackle box in the kayak, have it mounted to those wheels, grab it and roll it down there. That'll also help if I go to somewhere that doesn't have a boat ramp and I park the vehicle a little ways away from where I got a launch at. I can set the kayak on that, strap it down, roll it down to the water, take the wheels off, do my fishing, put the wheels back under it, put it back in the vehicle or on the vehicle. I got that coming, and it wasn't but, I think it was $35 after taxes and everything. It was $35 shipped to me with taxes and everything. It's still not here yet. I think it's slated for tomorrow or Thursday. It's supposed to be here. So I got that coming for the kayak. I've got those 2 rod holders I got to mount on there. I've got a cushion that I found online. This thing is 3.5 or either 3.75 inches thick. It's a dual stage memory foam. It's a dual stage memory foam. And it's got waterproof cloth on top, waterproof cloth on bottom. The only thing that's not waterproof is the cloth that goes around the middle section. So I ordered that cushion to put instead of the stadium seat, because the stadium seat weighs like 5 to 7 pounds. And plus being up 4 inches high off the kayak, it throws off the stability some. Yeah, I've got that coming, and I'm going to have that sitting on the kayak, and it's got a little latch on the back, a little place on the back where I can hook a carabiner to it and make it where I can hook it on the kayak somewhere so it don't just fall off. So I've got a cushion coming. I've got a little kayak cart coming. I've got them 2 rod holders to mount flush there right beside each side of the seat. Like I said, I'm doing away with the stadium seat because it weighs either 5, 6, or 7 pounds, somewhere between 5 and 7. That's extra weight. Plus, it's like 4 inches higher off the bottom of the kayak, so it makes it a little bit rocky. And until I do something about the kayak stabilizers, I want it as stable as it can be until I do something. So, yeah, I got all that other stuff coming. And then I got me a fish tape measure that you stick on your boat. It's got a little place where you pull the paper, peel the backing off of it, and then you just stick it down on your boat. It's like an inch or an inch and a half wide, and it's like 40 inches long. I'm probably going to cut it off around 30 or 32 because I think that's where I'm going to have the room to put it. It's going to be right there before you get to that thing where I tie off the anchor at, that I put on there. That anchor cleat, where I added that anchor cleat on my kayak, it's going to be coming right up to that. I'm going to have it coming from towards the front of the boat, towards that. That way I can just take the fish and put it up over there and see the length of it and then drop it back in the water. Wait for my next kayak upgrade video. I modded the stadium seat. I cut it up good with a hacksaw. Oh. I just decided what it was is I wanted one that was rounded at the back. And it would have fit in that rounded area and sat down, and I would have only been like an inch or two higher than what the original kayak was, up off of it. But they sent a square one, and it didn't want to sit right, and it had to sit up high to make it sit in the right spot where I needed it to be comfortable. So it ended up being like this much higher than where the bottom of the kayak was, where I normally would have sat. It was like 4 inches up or more. And I noticed when I sat in the kayak and did this, it made the front of the kayak do this more with just me sitting there just doing this. And I'm like, if a fish hits real hard and it's probably going over to that side or try to, Plus reaching back trying to grab my rods, it was really hard with that seat sitting me up higher and a wider back. It made it where I couldn't hardly reach around it. Yeah, and that back on the stadium seat was in the way of my arms. Probably would have sucked when fishing, so I modded it. That's what I'm talking about. When I used it, that crate that I've got in the back that has the 2 rod holders on it, I had trouble reaching my rods because it was like the back of the seat was up this high, and I got short arms, and I'm going. So I ended up having to ease around like this while the kayak was just sitting there drifting. Ease around, reach there, pull the rod up out of the holder, and then spin myself back like this slowly, stretch my legs out, and grab and start fishing with that rod. And so that's why I just did away with the stadium seat. Went back with the regular seat backing, put it back on there, and I'm going to fix it up that way. That way I can just reach right beside me, because the seat backing that came with it is, it's only that wide. Well, it didn't rock any the first time I put it in the water until I added the stadium seat and got myself up higher. And then when I did throw out or turn, it wanted to do this a little more. But I do still plan on an outrigger down the road. Just not right now. Not in the next week or so. Bobby's RCs. Hey guys, just stopping by to say I hit over 300 subscribers on YouTube. Well, congrats on the 300 subscribers. To say I hit over 300 subscribers on YouTube. Well, congrats on the 300 subscribers. You did away with the whole back of the stadium seat, and you're using the backing that came with the kayak. Because, it's kind of rounded, kind of like an egg type shape, weird shape, like this. And you got that little strap that goes through it and comes down and connects like this. I just got my strap where I wanted it, kind of cinched them up so it would sit a little bit back, but not much. Not straight up like this, but just a little bit back like that. So when I lean back on it, it'll just go back just a little bit. And since I wear a life vest when I'm fishing on it, that life vest gives me plenty of cushion on that back of that seat. So I don't need any extra padding on the backing of the seat. But on my rump, yeah, the kayak is very hard plastic. So I had to have something for the kayak for my butt. Because after 2 hours, you want out of that kayak. You're like, oh my God. And you're moving constantly, trying to get comfortable. I went with the stadium seat. Like I said, it just lifted me up too high. And I'm not a little guy, weight-wise. I'm not no little $120, $140, $150 little guy. So me being up 4 or 5 more inches off of that kayak made me a little bit more rocky. So that's why I decided, well, I'll just do away with the stadium seat. I'll go back with the original seat backing, and then I'll just put me a good foam. And I mean, come on, I think it's 3.75 inches. And it's a dual stage. I think it's supposed to be a dual stage type foam. And then the cushion, the top cover is camouflaged. It's waterproof. The bottom cover is camouflaged. It's waterproof. And just around the middle section is not waterproof. So when I'm leaving it out in the weather, I'll probably take the cushion and just unclip it and bring that back in the house. Yeah, I know that's why you went with the stabilizers. That way you don't have to worry about the rocking. Well, I'm worried about that if I hook onto a big bass or a big cat. You know, you lay back into a big cat. It may try to go over with you. You lay back into a big bass, it may try to go over with you. So down the road, I will have a stabilizer system, more than likely. Just not right now. I wanted the seat system done up, making sure I had that where I wanted it. I wanted that rod holder that I added. I wanted that anchor cleat and that new anchor. I wanted these two to put beside the seat. That way I don't even have to reach back in there to the crate for the rods. The only thing I'll be reaching into that crate for right now is my tackle box. Yeah, my girlfriend used to say, I don't want to be anywhere near him when he's trying to set a hook on a fish. If he don't set the hook, he rips their lips off instead. That's what my girlfriend used to say, because I just lay into one. Every fish I laid into it like it was a giant. So if I do that on that kayak, it might just go, and in the lake I go. Yep, rip some lips. But I want to get these on it in the next few days. I may wait until the kayak cart comes, and I may go ahead and wait till the cushion comes, and then just do at least a video of me putting these on there, the cushion on there, and setting the cart up under it, you know, and maybe strapping it down so that way, because I'm going to leave the cart under it with it up on the back porch. That way I can just ease it off the porch and then just roll it around holding it by the rope. Even if I'm going to load it up in the truck, I can wheel it around with the wheels, load it up in the truck, get where I'm going to fish, ease it down, and then just roll it to the water. You know, so I'm hoping them wheels are going to really come up. Well, I decided not to go with braid yet. I've only ever used braid on my catfish rigs. But I may go to something like that down the road. I might put something like a 20-pound braid on that Silver Max, because it's about the same diameter for a 20-pound braid as it is for that 12-pound mono that I'm running on it. But I'd have to start catching some fish that warrant me going to a better line, a bigger line, thicker line. You know, but you ain't doing nothing but catching brim. You don't need no 15, 20-pound braid for catching no brim, you know. But these, I want to get these mounted on the yak. I want to get that seat cushion done on there, get that cart put up under it and strapped under it. And then I can't wait until the fish ruler. The fish ruler is said it wasn't going to be here until the 9th or the 12th of this month. So that may have to be just put on later by itself. It may be these, the cushion, and the cart. Putting all that out there and getting it ready to go fishing on it. I like using the Gliss braid line and then 8 to 10 liter of a hybrid of fluoro. What's up, Massive Clouds? Hey, man, it's like this. Better late than never. And go ahead and say hey to Steve, Mr. Shin RC, while he's in here. Mr. Pickerel Hunter, Mr. PH. Go ahead and say hey to him. You've been asking about him the last few weeks. There he is. I'll let you go ahead and say hey to him before I catch you up. I'll catch you up in a minute what you missed. Just show you some of the stuff I was chatting with him about. All right, Massive. Excuse me. Here's what you missed. I took this camera, which is my Nikon Coolpix with a 35x zoom, and this adjustable part right here, so when you got it on a tripod, you can just stand up behind it and see what's going on. I took that camera and filmed an RC video in the woods yesterday. It's an HG, which is Hingguan, P401 with a Hummer H2 yellow body on it. I shot video of it in the woods yesterday. I did a trail run. And again, that's the camera I used. Nikon Coolpix with a 35x zoom and the adjustable tilt screen right here so you can see what you're doing out there. I showed everybody these two rod mounts, these two flush rod mounts that I'm going to be adding to my kayak. I showed that Abe Garcia. No, I've had that camera for a while. That's a camera I used to shoot all of my trail videos with. I used to do all my trail videos with that camera. And then I started doing it with that Fayutech that has a gimbal mounted to it that I can just hook on the radio. That way I could just walk along and shoot video with the RC that way. Well, I decided to go back to this one because this one gives me better shots. And I was showing Steve and wishing I was fishing earlier. I was showing them this one. I got that Abu Garcia or Abu Garcia. I got that Silver Max all lined up, spooled up with 12 pound. And I added it to that. I put it on that Abu Garcia 6.6 medium action rod that I told you I was going to put it on. And I went ahead and tied on Wish.com top water frog. And that's the first lure that's going to be used on it the next time I go fishing. That'll be the first lure to be used on it. If it doesn't catch anything, then I'll swap out and try something else. And this one, you know about this one. This is that Hank Parker edition of the Lew's with the speed stick and everything. Well, I went ahead and put... No, it's the same Nikon Coolpix one. And this is what I just put on the Lew's. I put that one on my Lew's. As you can see, it looks like a shad. And then it's got this spinner part of the body there that's supposed to spin when I'm reeling it. Those are the first two Wish lures out of that Wish stuff that I got that I said I was going to use. Remember I said next time I went fishing, I was going to throw out the Wish lures and see what they did. Well, there's two of them right there. I'm going to fish with them, and then I'll swap to something else. I picked up the Lew's Hank Parker IM8 last night. Cool. Now, what you didn't, Master Clouds, the other thing I've got coming, I'm doing away with the stadium seat. Remember, me and you had talked about me trying to lighten up my kayak and get it back close to the 50 pounds that it was when I bought it. Well, I'm doing away with the stadium seat I had on there because that thing weighed between 5 and 7 pounds. I went ahead and took it off. I put the back, the original back that went on the kayak, I put that back on there to get it ready. I found me a cushion that has a dual stage foam in it that is like 3.5 or 3.75 inches thick. Has a waterproof cover on the top, waterproof cover on the bottom. The only part that's not waterproof is around the middle section. It has a loop at the back where I can connect something to it to hold it from flying off the boat. So that way, if the boat flips over, it'll hang down, but it won't fall off. I've got that on the way. That's supposed to be here Thursday or Friday of this week. So I'm going to have that to put on the kayak for me to put my butt on. That'll be 3.5 to 3.75 inches of dual stage foam. I think it's what it called it. I'm going to have the 2 rod holders I'm going to mount on there. I've got a kayak trolley cart thing, or kayak cart with the 2 wheels coming. I decided instead of building one, by the time I bought the parts, found the wheels that I wanted, bought them, and went and got all the nails and screws and everything, and some wood and everything I needed to build it up to hold the kayak and put the hooks on there for putting the strap across. I figured I was going to spend $25, $30 anyway. So I just bought me one and spent, I think it was $32 for it with shipping. And it'll be here tomorrow or Thursday. And I'm going to put the kayak on it. Wonder if you can use Velcro to stick it down in the boat and stitch some Velcro on the seat covers bottom, then just stick it down in place. I've got some industrial strength Velcro here at the house. And I could probably take a piece of that Velcro, clean a section of where your butt goes out there on the kayak, clean it up, put a section of that industrial Velcro there, then just take that seat cushion and the side that I'm going to have pointed down, I could probably just take a piece of that Velcro and put on it, let it sit there and set it down like in this chair with that piece on it, sit on it for a little while to let it, get good and firm and staying on there good. And that way I can go out there and mount it to that, put it down like that, and then just pull it off when I come home. Have you tried braid for throwing frog? Braid doesn't stretch, so your hookup ratio will be a lot better. I don't want to run braid on this thing yet. What I was telling Steve earlier, I'm going to start out with that 12-pound trilene. I may go with a 20-pound braid down the road because I know the 20-pound braid has about the same diameter thickness of what this 12-pound mono has. So I can switch over and go from the 12-pound mono, go with a 20-pound braid. Well, let's see. Hold on a second. Let me move the lose out of the way. There's that one with me putting a little pressure on it. I don't know how good of a backbone it's got. I guess I'll find out. But this is an older rod. This is a 6.6, but I've had this rod here with a different reel on it. I've had it probably for 8 or 10 years. So it might have gotten weakened some by now by catching some fish on it. So it may end up breaking on me. But if I break this rod catching a lunker or something, or a 4 or 5 pound when it fights hard, I will take this Silvermax off of it and I will go buy me like a 7-foot and try to find maybe a medium heavy. I might look for a 7-foot medium heavy if I break that rod. You know, because I know a medium heavy 7-foot with a 20-pound braid would probably be about right down the road. But I want to start catching some fish first before I go, okay, I need the heaviest lure. I need the heaviest line, the heaviest rod. Because I ain't been catching any bass of any size in years. So, you know, get the Hank Parker IM8 medium heavy 7. I may get that for that Silver Max down the road. But for right now, until I start catching some bass, you know, I got to catch something before I worry about it. Really lightweight rod. Cool. The braid helps cut through weeds when pulling the fish in. Yeah, I use braid, the spider wire braid. That's what's on my catfishing rod. I've got a 7-foot rod, big thick rod, probably about that thick, almost that thick at the butt. It's a 7-foot rod. I use that for my catfishing, and I got a big fat Shimano, probably with a bell about that big around on it. You know, spinning reel. And I use spider wire. I think it's a 20 pound. 20 pound is the actual diameter of what it's called. 20 pounds. But it's supposed to be like 40 or 50 pound strength. And that's what I use when I'm catfishing for the bigger ones. I'll put me a big old ounce lead on there. Chunk that thing 50, 75 feet out or whatever, yards out, whatever it is. I'll chunk that thing way out in the water. Let it settle to the bottom. Tighten the line up. And then wait. Yeah. The rod holders actually are going to go into the kayak. See? In other words, I'm going to have to drill a small hole with my biggest bit. Just drill me a hole. And then either whittle it out or come in and get my jigsaw, run a drop cord out there and try to go around and make a hole big enough around for those two sections. Now, when I go to mount them, of course, I've got to angle them, you know, either like this or like this to make them fit in the kayak. But if they're still too long from the back of the kayak down to the bottom, I may have to take that same jigsaw and cut off a little bit because they're really long, as you can see. I may have to cut off a little of this bottom portion to make them fit all the way down in there. But I'm going to drill the hole and then spread it out, get it big enough for these to go down in, and then I'll see. I would just trace the bottom on the boat with a Sharpie. Yeah, but it's hard to cut a perfect circle without getting it started is what I'm getting at. I'm going to take a Sharpie. I'm going to set this down on the boat, and I'm going to go around it. I'm going to go around it like this, and then I'm going to take the drill, and I'm going to go in the middle on one side and cut me a small hole first, and then decide whether I'm going to finish it out with the drill or whether I'm going to bring my jigsaw out there with a drop cord and finish cutting the circle out and putting these in. So, yeah, I am going to trace it. I've got a blue Sharpie right there and a black Sharpie right here. I've already decided on the wheels. I just ordered the whole little cart. It's a little aluminum style one. It's got 2 round wheels, probably about like that. I would say about the size of or a little bit bigger of a Pushmore. Kind of like that. It's kind of like what you'd have on a Pushmore. It's got 2 wheels, and the frame comes around like that, and the kayak sits on it, and then you just grab the front rope. Once you strap the kayak down, you just lift up on the front rope a little bit, lift it up just a little bit, and you just pull it behind you. You know. So I've got that coming. The kayak cart thing. Got that coming. I've got the kayak, the seat cushion thing coming. Well, once this gets down in there, if it ain't perfectly, because see, they got grooves in this anyway. They got notches in this thing where it's grooved in for some reason up here in the top section a little bit. The thing is, this right here, once I make the mark around, once I cut out the hole and drop them in there, if I don't have it exactly perfect, I'm not really worried about going back with a Dremel and getting it dead on smooth, perfect all the way around. As long as I can take my sealant and put it around this and put it around the hole, and when I pop it down in there, the sealant's going to get it, and then put the screws in it. If you can't cut that sharp with your jigsaw, do it with drilling, like I said above. Yeah, I was going to take my drill with a big bit on it once I get a small hole done, and then just work around the circle. Then you go back and you just bring it around a little bit more until all your circles start connecting, and then you've got your whole circle cut out. Then you can either go back out there with a Dremel and try to smooth it out, or you can set this and see if it goes all the way down in there. And if you don't want to smooth it out, you can put sealant around it, a little bit of sealant around this, pop it down in there, get it set the way you want it, drill your holes with a small drill bit, put some sealant in the holes, screw the screws in real quick. Bob's your uncle. You're done. And there's the screws. At least it gave some decent screws with it. I hate it when it gives you a screw that you got to put a nut on or a washer. It's not like I can really use that with a kayak. The nut and washer, there's nowhere for me to reach under there, to tighten up the nut with. But yeah, I got them two there. The seat cushion's coming. The cart's coming. Oh yeah, Massive Cloud. I've got me a fish ruler coming. It's adhesive on the back. You peel off a piece of paper, and then you put it down, the adhesive. I use that goop type glue on mine. Yeah, I've got marine sealant that I used when I did the rod holder and when I did that anchor cleat. And I've still got some loot left. And I plan on, if it hasn't dried up, I plan on using that marine sealant and putting on the boat and then putting the stuff on there so that way. But yeah, Massive Clouds, I've got me a fish ruler coming that's going to just peel off the backing, stick it on my kayak, and that way I can measure the fish before I dump them back in the water and see what size they were. And I did. Yeah, it's going to be pretty handy. That way I ain't got to worry about pulling out a tape measure, holding the tape measure while trying to hold the fish. Now, Massive Clouds, you said something about a camera earlier. Well, I'm not opening it tonight because I'm going to be doing an unboxing of it on my channel. I don't get it. What's the point of sealing it? It is at the bottom of the holder. Open, won't the water splash in and just go down in it? Well, it depends on if water comes over into your kayak. But you seal it up so no water goes around the frame of it. You just want it sealed up right here. So that way, if the screws try to back out some, you got all that sealant. Your rod holder's still staying flush. Because if you don't put any sealant and the screws start trying to back out, then this can start trying to raise up in the hole. Raise up, back up, start trying to back out of the hole is what I'm saying. That's why I'm sealing it. But yeah, if you don't have this cover over it, the ones I had to buy, as you can see, they don't have the cover. Now, the ones you order online off of eBay, they have a cover. The ones on eBay actually have a cover, Steve. They do this. They have a little rubber flap, and it hangs open like this when you got your rod in there. And then when you pull your rod out, you just close that up. It can rain all it wants, and nothing's going to get in it. Water can splash in as long as that cover's closed. But check this stupidness out. I tried to order a set of those with the rubber gasket, with the cover that folds over. Tried to order them on eBay. My bank blocked a $9 set of rod holders because they were coming from China and they felt they needed to protect me. I said, but you just let me order off of Walmart and 4 or 5 other sites and didn't think that might be fraud with the amount of stuff I had ordered. You didn't protect me from that. You didn't protect me one time when I ordered something online and I didn't have quite enough money to cover it. You let me get overdraft and you charged me for that. You didn't protect me from that, but you're protecting me from China. So you wouldn't let me order 2 rod holders that cost $9.50 from China. You wouldn't let me order them. You blocked that to protect me. But you wouldn't let me order rod and reel holders. So I had to go to Walmart and get these. And they don't have that rubber gasket around them with the little flap over top. But see, those work good because you mount them. They got the rubber gasket here. And then the flaps close when you don't have a rod in them. So if you take on a bunch of water, the flap blocks it. Plus the ones on eBay, they're closed. Here, they're closed completely off. So that way, if water comes into them when you got your rod in them, the water just goes into it. And you could just flip the kayak over and the 2 rod holders would drain. But of course, I had to go at Walmart and get mine. I had to get the old Ozark Trails. I don't want anything coming from China right now, laughing out loud. Yeah, Massive, you want a free RC to review on your channel? Me? No, sorry. Not now. I've managed to catch 7 over 5 pounds so far this year. Now, my priority mail here is a camera for my channel. For when I go fishing. Mostly. That's what it's going to be for. It'll be unboxed in a couple days on my channel. I bought a refurbished version, bought a year warranty to add on to that, and I got an accessory pack with it. So I'll be unboxing this in a couple days, or within the next week on my channel. This will be unboxed, and I'll be showing what I got. But it's refurbished. I added a year warranty on it. It's a camera for when I go fishing. I'll be unboxing it on my channel within the week. I bought a refurbished camera and I bought an accessory kit to go with it. But I'll be unboxing it on my channel within the next week. It might be 2 or 3 days from now. It might be 4 or 5 days from now. But I will be unboxing it within the next week. I haven't never tried them. I've heard they're awesome. I've heard they're a little expensive, but I've heard they're awesome. The bass by you probably are a lot fatter and larger. Yeah, they might be fatter by him, but I don't know how they are down here where I live. I haven't hooked on to any to find out yet. I'm hoping to maybe get me one this year. I'm hoping to get one this year. Yeah, but aren't 6 cents lures, aren't they a little bit pricey though? I mean, to be honest, I'm not saying do they work. Are they good? I'm asking, are they pricey? Is a 6 cent lure pricey? I caught a 24-inch and it only weighed 7. 2 foot long and only weighed 7 pounds. But still, you're complaining about a fish that only weighed 7 pounds? I would love to catch a 7 pound bass right now. I would love to catch a 5 pound this year. And you're saying, yes, they are kind of pricey. Got them little ones. I see guys when they live in the hotter states, they get an 18-inch bass and weigh it, and it weighs more than when I get an 18 bass here. $8 to $10 a crank. So yeah, it's a $10. It's a $10 lure. If you're fishing it from a bank and you hang it up, there's about a 75% chance it's gone. Realistic? Or am I a little bit off on that? If you're fishing from the bank and you hang it up, there's a 75% chance that lure is gone. Or am I wrong on that one? I snagged one today and almost broke it off. See, that would be my luck. I would be on the bank. I'd throw it over here, pitch it over like to my right, trying to hit near a log or something, and it would hang that log just perfectly. Snap. Managed to drag the tree in. Well, see, that's the other thing I do like about the kayaking and fishing from a boat, is it does get you right up to the area. You got a better chance of retrieving it. If you hang it on a log in the water, you can get your kayak right up there to that log and try to go at it from maybe a different angle. Like, oh, take it. Well, I'm trying to pull it towards me. That didn't work. Let me try to go to the side of this log or to the back of this log and see if I can break it loose, without breaking it off. Tree on the bottom, running cranks on the floor of the pond. Oh, I got almost an 8-pound one here. You can see it on my fishing channel's homepage. In my top picture, it was a monster. But I've already got, I got my stuff set up. I've already got my rod and reels, my 2 bass ones, my smaller bass one and my bigger bass one. I've already got both of them rigged up. Both of them got a wish.com lure on them. So they're ready to hit the water and try to catch some fish. I already got stuff coming from my kayak to try to get it ready to take it down to the lake right down here. Like I said, when the cushion gets here, the cart gets here, get it ready, put them rod holders on it, haul it down there and get on that lake with it, at least for a couple hours one day. I'll be unboxing this camera in a couple days to within a week. Now, Massive Clouds, I don't know if you heard me earlier. I did. Oh, yeah. I know you did. We were talking about this camera here. If you get a chance, anxious to see some kayak videos from both of you. Man, I'm hoping if we get some good weather, we've got rain all the rest of the week right now up until Sunday. We got rain from now all the way to Sunday. It was like 100% chance of rain today. It's like 90 or 80 tomorrow percent and 70 the next day. And I think 60 the next. I don't believe in my last video that pickerel followed my lure to the ice edge and bit and hit right into the ice. Yeah, that was crazy. I saw that. Hey, and you almost went home empty-handed, but you got that one right there at the end. But yeah, Massive Clouds, as you were talking about, you wanted to see some videos from kayak soon from us. I plan on getting mine in the water. No bad luck in the next couple weeks. Because I got them wheels coming, that cart system coming to put it on. When I get that fixed up, that'll be one step closer to rolling it down there. And I got that cushion coming. Get that in there. I got these 2 rod holders I'm going to cut the holes and mount in there. And then I got that. I'm not necessarily waiting on the fish ruler to get here. I can fish without that. And everything. I can fish without that. The fish ruler. I don't need to know how long they are. I can always take one off and go, check it out, guys, it's a little one. Or check it out, guys, it's a big one. And I can just drop them back in the water. I can put the ruler on when it gets here. But if I have a pretty day and the cushion's done got here, the cart's done got here, and I've already got these mounted, oh yeah, boat and water time. If it ain't pouring down like it was today. Today it was monsoon. I mean, it felt like hell hitting you at times. And I don't really want to be on the water in that. I don't want to be on the water when it's that heavy of a rain. I don't mind being out in a light drizzle. A little, drizzle rain. I don't mind being in that. But that stuff where it's pelting you and it feels like hell, I'm not real keen on being in that, especially in the kayak. And I've got them scupper holes plugged up. I got the scupper holes plugged up on my kayak. So any rain that comes down on my kayak is going to stand in the kayak unless I take the scupper plugs out. Yeah, Wishing I Was Fishing has a stick-on ruler stuck to his rod. Yeah. I've got one that's like an inch and a half wide coming from Amazon. It's going to be here the 9th of this month to the 12th is what they're saying. Now, it could show up a couple of days early or a couple of days late. But when it gets here, I'm going to clean that little section up again, that little area where I'm going to put it on my kayak, and I'm going to put it there. My dumb ass fishes in rain and 15-degree weather if my guys aren't feeding up. Well, it's different. I do have a poncho. I can put on a little cheap poncho over me, and keep the upper half decently dry. It's not that I'm talking about. I just don't want to have to sit there, come up to the bank, get out of the boat, pop my scupper plugs out because I haven't added the rope to them yet. So I would have to come up, get it out of the water a little bit, pop the scupper plugs out, and then go back out there. So that way any rain that come into the kayak could just drain right out from under me and around me. Now, I could technically pop the one out down there near my feet, pop those 2 out, and have it drain on that end. Yeah, I wouldn't get out in a kayak. Yeah, especially if you got the drain holes plugged up. If you're sitting on top of a kayak and you got all the 6 drain holes plugged up with these round rubber golf balls, all the water that comes into the kayak when it rains is going to stay there. So you either got to take those scupper plugs out or you got to head in when it starts raining, especially if it's a heavy rain. Now, if it's just a little drizzle here and there, you can stay out there for a while, fish a little bit more, and when you notice it's starting to take on water, then reel back, paddle back to the bank. What I want to do down the road is pop them little golf balls out, take a small drill bit, drill a hole, stick a piece of rope through there, like a paracord style, size, thickness, push that through there, loop it, stick it through, tie a knot on this end, and that way I can push them back down in there. And that way I could just reach around that seat cushion while I'm out on the water and grab a hold of the 2 ropes, pull both of them out right there at my butt, set them to the side, and let the water drain out while it's raining. Try Real Snot. Supposed to spray it on the guides and line, and it's supposed to stop freezing up guides. I have it, but I forgot to use it on mine. I hate when my hands are so cold they go numb and I start backlashing. Yeah, that can cause a problem. that can definitely cause an issue. Your hands are getting too cold out there. You start shaking. But yeah, massive clouds. I hadn't been out fishing because I've been busy getting my rod and reels ready. I put that Silver Max on that rod, that 6.5 foot rod. I did that the other day. I spooled it up today. Well, probably about an hour before I started the video. I went ahead and spooled it up. Tied that frog on it for now. I grabbed the other lure, tied onto the other one to get it ready for fishing. That way when I go, I've already got something set out to use when I first get there. And then if they're not getting any hits, I can switch them out. Now, when I talked to you last week, I told you I got me two rods, 2 6-foot rods. One to put my brim when I'm fishing with live bait for brim, one to put that reel on, a little mini reel. And I got another one to put the other little micro mini style reel on that I use for crappie. Oh, you picked up the Lew's Mock Crush. I heard that thing is sweet. I heard that thing is really sweet. But I took them 2 rods that I showed you in last week's video. I took them 2 rods and put them 2 little mini reels on them. Went ahead and rigged the one back up for brim fishing with cork, weight, hook, all that. Took the other one and put me a different crappie jig on there and everything. So I got one of them rigged up for brim, fish with a worm or minnow, whichever. And I got the other one rigged up with a crappie jig, those 2. And then I've got the 2 rigged up for bass. Now, if I go out in the kayak and I don't have any live bait with me, I'll just take the one that's rigged up with a crappie jig and grab the 2 with the bass lures and grab my tackle, box, and go. And if I've got live bait with me, I'll probably take 4 of them. The 2 for the bass, the one for the crab with the crappie jig, and the one with the live bait, If I don't have any live bait, I'm taking 2 or 3 rod and reels. I'm taking 2 or 3 with me if I don't have any live bait. If I've got live bait, I'm taking probably 4. 1 with live bait, 1 for crappie with a crappie jig on it. Yeah, this is it's a jig head with a little spinner blade on it, on the front of it. And then at the back, I've got a white rubber body with like it looks like 6 or 8 little legs coming off of it, and some like little frog legs at the back of it. So it ought to give some decent action. I've got that little crappie set up on that one. Massive, I never used a bait caster. I got a Piscifun reel, used it for a month. Then got the Shimano SLX DC. If you set up the DC the way you do the normal bait caster, you can't backlash it. I can't cast my thumb off. But yeah, I'm trying to get everything set up and ready. Get everything ready so that way when I get ready to hit the water, everything's good to go. Now I'm probably going to do a video when I get ready to do these rod holders and mount them in the boat. That'll be another mod I'm doing. And I'll probably show when I put the seat down. Hey, here's my new seat cushion. Here's the way it's going to be. And go ahead and show where I'm going to put that, tape measure, where I'm going to mount that at on the boat. I'll probably show that, and I'll probably show the kayak cart, show all that stuff together. I may not, like I said, I may not show the fishing ruler, but I'll just show where I'm going to put it at, because I won't have it when all this other stuff gets here. I hardly backlash, but when I do, it's bad. But yeah, I'm trying. Like I said, I'm trying to get everything ready so that way when I hit the water, I want to take the kayak the next time I go. But if the cart's not here, the cushion's not here, if they're not here, I'm not taking the kayak yet. Because I want to have the cart to put under it to make it easier to get down to the water. I don't want to have to use the vehicle to go take a 5 minute that I can walk in 5 minutes or less. I don't want to drive the vehicle down there for that. You know, if I can walk there in less than 5 minutes, I don't want to waste gas in a vehicle to drive that far. So I want to wait until I get the kayak cart and at least the cushion. So that way I can just put it on the cart, wheel it down there, and do a little fishing for a couple hours. You know. But I wanted to tell y'all about something. There's this, it looks like it's bigger than a normal creek. This thing, you run spool all the way loose, just get side play out of it, no drag at all. You cast no thumbs on the spool, only when the lure hits the water. But I found this spot that I want to try out with some live, just some like red worms, something like that. It's you leave my house and you go into town where I live, and as you're coming out of the town limits that I live in, fixing to head to the next town, there's this little small bridge you go across, and it's supposed to be like a creek that goes under there. And on one side of the creek, it's a pretty good wide. It's almost as wide as a river in one spot, I think. And I want to go there and throw out with a live red worm or a live night crawler and see what's out there. I'll probably try red worms first just to see what hits in that area. And I may take like a crappie jig or a small bass lure with me and try to throw out there just to see what's in that creek. But I want to hit that one. I feel like it hinders my distance. I like the side-to-side play. I feel like it hinders my distance if it isn't. Then if you set tension like a normal bait caster, you cannot even thumb the spool when it hits the water. The electronic brake system in it is awesome. But yeah, that creek I found, I definitely want to try out. Now, it's not something I'm going to try to launch a kayak in, because the creek's not big enough for that. You know, I think it's a little small for a kayak. But to stand there at the edge of the bridge or go down beside the bridge and throw down there and try to catch something in a creek, it looks like it'd be some fun. With the DC reel, you don't want side-to-side spool movement. It will make the electronic brakes not work properly, they say. But now, question for y'all too. Ask both of y'all. Have y'all ever fished? I just saw these the other day. First time I've ever seen them. Have y'all ever fished with these new red worms? You don't refrigerate them. Matter of fact, it's got a mark through it saying no refrigeration. You're not supposed to refrigerate them. The red worms, and they're different. One of the red worms has garlic salt scent added to it. Another one has something else added to it. And the third one, they've been like dipped in a chartreuse dye. So they look like a chartreuse. They look like a chartreuse worm, but they're live red worms. And my buddy has a DC, and if the spool loses, it spool's loose, it backlashes. Yeah, those worms are nuts. Have you ever? So you've used them? You've actually used those? I had never used them. Had never seen them. I've always bought the traditional. Do they soak the worms? That's what I'm guessing. I wishing I was fishing 73 was on here chatting right now because I think he did it with some minnows and he added chartreuse to them. Or either he bought them like that with the chartreuse already added to them. Do you have to use the number settings, say for the type of line? If you don't, and use like the number 1. I guess they soak them. But I saw them in a Walmart a couple of days ago. I was at Walmart. I was back in the fishing section just looking around, seeing what they had new. And I see all this tray of worms sitting out of the refrigerator. And I'm seeing all these red worms, a big old shelf full of them in the refrigerator. And I'm seeing night crawlers in the refrigerator, which you keep both of those refrigerated. Because if you keep them cold, you keep them alive a very long time. I know I kept red worms and night crawlers alive in the refrigerator for like 3 weeks one time. But these containers, it was 3 different kinds, and they were laying on the counter, and it was a bunch of them. And you had one over here that was one kind, one over here was garlic salt scented, flavored, and then you had over here, you had the chartreuse red worms, and it said no refrigeration. Seen a video where one guy used the normal red worms and the other used the green ones, and the green ones caught 5 times the fish. Wow. Maybe I need to use them at this lake. I think they're just supposed to be chartreuse. I don't think they necessarily glow in the dark. I think they're just supposed to have to add that chartreuse to them to give them that appeal. Oh, they glow yeah, they do glow in the dark. Wow. Man. I definitely need something like that. That way when you fish in murky water, they ain't got no trouble seeing it. You fish a little bit of dirty or murky water, the fish are going to see it. But I want to try a container. My next time fishing from a bank or fishing from not necessarily fishing from the kayak, but my next time fishing from a bank, I definitely want to try those red worms, with the chartreuse color on them. But I'm so used to using the original red worms that you stick in your refrigerator when you come home after you've used them. You got a bunch of them left. You don't want them to die. You put them in the refrigerator, down in the bottom, in the vegetable pan. If there's nothing else down there, or move stuff out of the way, put them somewhere to the side. I'll leave them in there. And 3 weeks later, they're still alive. Oh, wait, the Walmart ones don't glow. See, they're just chartreuse. They're just colored with a chartreuse color on them to make them where they antagonize the fish a little more. I use the Spike It markers to color up my lures when I'm out fishing. They work awesome. I had never tried one of the Spike It markers. Matter of fact, I've never seen them. I've never seen them anywhere for sale. Of course, I haven't really been looking per se for them. Now I know to start keeping my eye out for them. But I've always used the red worms that you keep in the refrigerator. That way, 2 or 3 weeks later, you can just open your refrigerator, grab them out of your door or out the bottom of the refrigerator. You grab them up. You walk down to the fishing hole or drive down to the fishing hole. You throw out. You use some more. And you keep them for 2 or 3 weeks until you run out. Unless you go out on a really hot day and the sun gets on them and bakes them. Then you just pour them into the water, let the fish eat them because they're dead, still have them, and take the container back and throw it in the trash. They are awesome. You have to try them out. Where do you get them? Where do you find them Spike It markers? Where did you find them? Where could I look for them? But I want to try these chartreuse because they're like half red worm, half chartreuse is what they look like. They look like they're partial red worm, partials chartreuse. JJ's Magic Dip and Dye. Definitely never heard of that. Online fishing shops, maybe eBay, they sell separate colors or a pack of a few colors. Yeah, if I'm going to buy them, I would probably want to buy a pack of a few different colors. That way you got a little bit of a variety. Like maybe try to go for some of your main colors. Like say maybe something like of a red orange color, kind of to look like a crawdad. Excuse me, something maybe to resemble shad color, and then a couple other something with chartreuse in it, or chartreuse color style. Dip your lure or the tail in the jar, and it turns it chartreuse. So JJ's Magic Dip and Dye. Maybe that's what they use on them worms. Oh, and your markers that you're getting are also garlic scented. So you're not only changing the color of the lure, you're adding a scent to it, which makes fish want to bite it a little bit more. Like those worms I'm talking about. One of them's got the chartreuse color added to them, the red worms, to make fish want to hit them more. The other red worm I'm talking about has a garlic scent added to it to make fish want to hit it more. And I forgot what the third one was. I didn't see the name on it. I just saw 3 different kinds. And I looked at, oh, this one's garlic flavored. Oh, this one's chartreuse. I draw like a marker and color them any style you want. Seeing my fishing vids, I make some funky lures with them. JJ's Magic has garlic scent in it as well. And where do you have to hunt JJ's Magic Dip and Dye? Can you find that just like on eBay, Amazon, or is that something you have to look at an online fishing store? Or could you find that online at like Academy or Dick's? Walmart might have it. Well, next time I'll glance through the whole fishing section when I'm back there and see. Academy does have it. That's where you got it. Okay. I'll keep an eye out for that too. JJ's Magic Dip and Dye. I'll definitely keep a lookout for that. What I may do is go on Walmart.com tonight and just type it in just to see if it lists it as being at my Walmart. Or if it's one that can ship it there and then me pick it up. $5? Yeah. That would definitely work if you just wanted to add a different color and a little bit of scent to the end of a worm. Like say if you're throwing out a worm and it's red and you want to add a little bit of a color to it at the very end, you can dip the tail end of the worm in, toss it out there, and it's got a little bit of scent going with it. But I like the other ones too, the markers, because you could change up the whole design. You got a lure that came green and white, and you don't like the color scheme of it. It ain't never done anything. You could change up the whole color. I like the markers. You can keep them in your pocket. Yeah. And I'm still thinking about what you said, Steve, about the chest. If I can fit a chest one over my life vest, then I may use a chest mount for my camera, system. But if not, when I'm not wearing the life vest and I'm on the bank or on a pier, put a chest mount system on, wear a shirt with a pocket in it, have the camera right here or have the camera right here on my chest, shirt with a pocket, put a battery bank in that pocket and plug straight into the side of a camera. That way I could still use my older camera as well if I go that way. That's how I did it on my boat. It works good. But see, if I've got it on a chest cam like this and I've got a shirt with a pocket, yeah, I put the battery bank here, run the cord over, plug into it, and boom, I'm out there shooting video, and I've got the power of the battery bank plus the power of the battery in the camera. So I could use my Firefly 6S a lot more, especially if I'm on the bank and I'm not wearing no life vest. But if you're wearing the life vest, you got to open up the life vest, put the battery bank down in here, run the cord out of the life vest, and then put the camera on. but you'd still be able to do it. It would just be a little more difficult. And that way you can still use the Firefly 6S. But it would be better if I'm fishing from the bank, since the Firefly 6S isn't waterproof. I could sit out there and shoot an hour or two of video with no problem, because I would have that battery bank. You'd have the 15 to 30 minutes that the camera has, and then you would have the battery bank as well. Put the cam in wide view, gives a better view in the mode that takes out all the fisheye, because it narrows it. But yeah, like I said, that's why I wear it on my head. It just makes it easier. Have you ever tried the Bill Lewis trap? Bill Lewis trap lipless crankbait. I can't say I have. I think I saw one in Walmart, to be honest. I saw something listed Bill Lewis. And I glanced up at it and I go, oh, that looks pretty cool. Can't remember the exact name of it, but I remember it was a Bill Lewis. I was like, that looks pretty cool. And that was when I grabbed that Cordell lure, that was the one that's the color of the crawdad. That lipless crankbait. That's when I grabbed that instead. I always run the power bank for the GoPro batteries. I have 3, but never use them. They die out too fast. Sick of changing them. Like I said, I've got a battery bank out in my vehicle. I need to charge it back up. It's not a big one, but I've got one there that I can run a cord. But I've got to have the camera where it's like right near the pocket, because the cord's only about that long. But I might can get another cord to put that's a little bit longer. I always heard people talk so highly of it, and I always thought it was goofy looking. I caught about 20 on it in the past 3 days. Decided to go back to Walmart and buy the last 2. I use lipless varietal traps, but I don't know if they were a Bill Lewis line. Yeah, I've used lipless crankbaits, stuff like that, but like I said, I've never used anything of the Bill Lewis line. But I will keep that in mind. I will look for them. You know, I'm definitely going to look for the JJ's Magic Dipping. You know, I'm definitely going to look for that. And I'm definitely going to look for the markers. I'm going to look for the JJ's Magic Dipping Die. And I'm definitely going to look for those Spike It markers. But yeah, I'll have to keep my eyes out for that lure as well. I'll have to keep my eyes open for that lure. I found the best cord for the battery bank to GoPro. Very flexible and like 3 foot long. Wow. That's a good size one there. Because if you got to run it, around something, or say if your pocket's over here and you got it mounted right here, then yeah, you ain't going that far. You know, you ain't going that far. If you got a pocket like right here and the camera's right here, you're not going that far. You're only going that. You could have a foot or less and probably make it. But if you got to go any kind of distance, then yeah, you want a little bit more. And you want to be able to, so if you do this, or you're doing anything now, if it's got to come outside the life vest, like say me, I put the bank here in the pocket. I got the cord sticking out. I put on my life vest. I've got to come up out of the life vest and connect to the GoPro or to my Firefly 6S. I got to connect to it something like this on the outside of the life vest. But I'm going to definitely be using the Firefly 6S some with the battery bank when I'm just fishing for the bank. Because there's no sense in retiring that camera. It has good video stabilization. It shoots good video. You can clearly see it shoots good video because every fishing video I've done has been the Firefly 6S. That boat video of the boat on the lake, the FPV footage, that was done with the Firefly 6S. I just went ahead and took a chance that it wouldn't get too wet and mess it up. So I ran it like this without a waterproof case and had a GoPro mount on top of the boat, sent it out there. And it worked. But for fishing in my boat, I don't really like going without waterproof. Because no waterproof, if I flip that boat and I'm wearing a chest mount one and I'm underwater for more than a couple minutes, that Firefly 6S Plus, it's probably toast. I mean, I'd probably bring it home, go get a bag of rice or something, drop it in a bowl, fill it up with rice, leave it in there for like a week, and then open it, get ready to see if it would come back to life, but it's probably going to be shot. But yeah, I had fun out there in the woods yesterday. I took the old, like I said, I took that old HG P401 with that Hummer H2 body on it. Took that thing out in the woods, and I had some fun. Found this little gully, a little section of like creek, like a creek gully or something at the very end of the video. Drove the Hummer down through it, and then come up this big hill full of briars and everything at the finish of the video. So I had a blast out there running that RC yesterday. You guys ever heard of Pat Cullen? Can't say I have. Can't say that I have, my friend. So who is Pat Cullen? The guy that's caught over 1,100 largemouth bass, over 10 pounds on black buzzbait. Boy, he's caught a few fish, hasn't he? Wow. But neither one of us had ever heard of him. Excuse me. Ugh. Caught 6 over 15 pounds. Wow. Ooh. I'd like to have one that's 6 pounds, much less 6 over 15. Insane, right? Yeah, that's crazy. For sure. Now, I was mind blown when I seen it. I bet you were. Oh, and I do plan on starting once I get the main part of my kayak upgraded, like I've been working on, and I get that seat cushion, I get them rod holders back there mounted behind me or beside me, get them mounted up, get that ruler, get everything done up like that, get the cart for hauling it. I do plan on starting back fishing for catfish some. Did you see the links I posted in chat? You can look at them later. I'll have to go back up. I didn't see them. Let me go back up real quick and glance and see if I see the links. Give me just a second. I'm looking for links right now. Huh. To be truthful, Steve, I don't have them. To be honest, I'm looking all the way up to when you joined the chat. From the beginning of when you joined the chat to now. I'm coming back down now to see if I see any kind of things listed with links in it. And normally it asks me before it'll let somebody post something with a link. I don't know what's going on tonight. Did you post it after we started talking about the magic mark, the markers, you know, and dipping stuff? And I know you said, or did you post it after you posted the 3-foot cord that you found to run from the battery bank to the... Ten posts above the one I'm typing now. Okay, they must make no links allowed. I've seen them allowed before, but links aren't allowed in live streams, I don't think. I could have swore links were allowed. I could have swore somebody popped one up the other week, but I could be wrong. Yeah, because they're right here. 10 posts above this one I am typing now. I went up like 20 or 30. I went all the way up to when you joined. So, yeah, I don't see any. There's no links in the chat. I see where you said 10 posts up from where I'm typing now. And I went up there and looked from where the markers are at. I looked all the way back down again. A moderator can post a link, I believe. Yeah, since it's not set up to have any moderators on here other than, what would be probably me because I am, running it. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'll have to go in there and, but see, you'd have to set it up every time. Set up moderators every time. Hold on. How can I send you hold on. I'm trying to see if there's any way. Toggle timestamp, pop out chat, participants. I'm not seeing anything that I can do to it right now to change it. That doesn't do it. That's a pop-out chat. They're not giving me really any option. I can toggle my timestamp. I can do the pop-out chat. And I can look at my participants. Hold on. Let me click on you. Add moderator. I can report you, remove you, put you in timeout, hide you. I'm going to add you as a moderator real quick. Now that you're a moderator, see what you can do. Click the 3 dots next to his post. I did. See, a little bit of teamwork. Because like I said, I'd never added a moderator, I'd never added anybody as a moderator. Yep, that way if a spammer is on, I can delete him for you. Well, Massive Clouds, you've been on every Tuesday pretty much since you started. So there you go. I'm going to make you a moderator because you know about them spammers that come on here when I'm on. Sometimes I get a bunch. Sometimes I don't get none. Sometimes I only get 1 or 2. Now I got 2 moderators when we're doing these chats to help get rid of the trash talkers. Because I don't need any sexually oriented talk on the channel. Now, here's the weird thing. I still ain't got a link. I don't see any link. So it basically it lets y'all moderate for me and kick people out. You know, put them in. Y'all can put them in timeout, report them, and do all that. But you still can't send me a link. Looks like. Yep, because I'm saying, did you get the link? See if you can link. Damn it, didn't show. That blows, right? Yeah, see, didn't get any links. I don't know why they won't let you send a link in a live chat. Maybe it's something to do with the YouTube version of it. I may have to try using StreamYard again. And it might let you send on their version. Because it uploads with StreamYard on YouTube. But it's a StreamYard based upload. You're doing a StreamYard based upload, but it uploads it live to YouTube. So I'm still doing a live video, but it's done up by StreamYard. The only thing is, since I'm not paying for their premium subscription, I have to leave their watermark. I have to have a watermark with their name on it, letting people know that I'm using StreamYard. I don't care. Woohoo. When I do a video, people are going to know that I'm using StreamYard. I could care less if people know that. I may have to go back to using that to see if it gives you that, to see if it lets us post links. I might try that in one of the next couple of videos just to see if it'll let us post links. If it doesn't let us post links, then I can always go back to just the YouTube version. How much is YouTube Premium? I don't know. I've never looked. I never figured on paying for YouTube. So I never looked at YouTube Premium. Seriously, I really don't. I don't know what the YouTube Premium is. The only thing I have here, we have our internet. Okay, this should work for you. eBay. Number for the cable. You have to put the eBay number in the eBay search to see it. Okay, thanks. Still got me the number. I'll write that down. And I'll type it in later tonight. Or I'll open another tab later when I'm not on here chatting. I'll open a tab. I'll look at that number, type it in real quick, and do it that way. Well, guys, it has been a blast talking to both of you. It was a blast also talking to Wishing I Was Fishing 73. Spike markers, I'll look at them too. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here for the night. I got it wrote down. JJ's Magic Dipping Die. Spike it markers, I got both of those wrote down. I'm going to get them numbers, look them up on eBay. I'm going to look up the dipping die on Walmart and see if I can get it there. But I haven't ate supper yet. I'm going to get ready and grab something to eat. Grab me another soda. Sit down. And get me some supper. Y'all have a great one. Peace. We out. See y'all next week, hopefully.